Good morning. Good morning. Let's go ahead and get this thing rocking and rolling. As you guys are coming in, go ahead and check in with me. Today's going to be an amazing episode. Got a lot planned for this episode, and I'm loving it because these things are just starting to get better and better and better. So I'm going to go ahead and crank up my treadmill here so we can get this thing rocking and rolling. Again, as you guys start coming in, I want you to check in with me in the chat, okay? I've been getting a lot of comments coming in from these shows, and some of them have been absolutely transformational, which that's actually a big part of the message here today is about transformation. So I'm super excited about that, but let's go ahead and let's rock, let's roll, let's go. Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the Who You Know Show, where what you know is important, but who you know can make all the difference in your wealth, your health, your business, career, your relationships, and your life. And this today is your wake-up call, all right? This is the Gratitude and Gains series, where every morning we're going to get moving, okay? We're going to share our gratitude. We're going to set our goals so we can hold each other accountable and keep climbing higher, all right? So this morning, I was doing my gratitude and goals, reading my Bible, and some pretty powerful stuff. I'm going to tell you that right now. One of the things that I wrote down is I'm super grateful for the fact that the Lord has already given me a victory over drinking. I recently quit drinking altogether. I've been kind of on a journey. Listen, y'all, I had a pretty crazy upbringing, and I started drinking and smoking and doing drugs and all that kind of stuff at a very, very early age. We're talking about 10, 11, 12, I was doing all that stuff very, very early. So I've been drinking for a long time, and I would say in my early 20s, it was a kind of a problem. And I was able to get it under control in my early 20s. I had gotten a DWI, when I was, I think, 24. There were a couple times when I was a juvenile that the handcuffs had been placed on me for alcohol. I remember I was, maybe 13, 14 years old and got a minor in possession of alcohol. It's one of the reasons why I didn't go into the military. I was trying to get into the military, and everything was lined up. I was going to go to the Army, and then I got a DWI, and it stopped me from going into the military, which was actually a blessing at the end of the day. But because everything has a purpose and a reason, but at the end of the day, that was one of the things that kept me from going. So alcohol in my early 20s and things like that was a problem. And I continued to drink, but it wasn't an issue as I got older, right? But, you always have those times where maybe you drink too much. So anyways, as I've been getting in shape, getting my body back together and all this, I just can't do alcohol anymore. Oh my gosh, at all. It totally wrecks me the whole next day. Next 2 days, I am just absolutely wiped out if I drink. And so I've been on this journey of stopping drinking altogether, right? And it's first started with I stopped drinking anything hard. So no liquor, no wine. The hard stuff, I just can't do it because I also know myself. Like if I have, let's say one of my favorites is an old fashioned. Let's say if I have an old fashioned, listen, it's going to get me that right buzz to where I want another one. And then listen, if I have two, you know, you guys know the rest of the story, right? So I stopped drinking liquor and wine completely. And I was like, you know what? I can handle beer because I'm not gonna go crazy with that, right? And so that was part of the journey, was like winging down the hard stuff and only doing, like liquor or wine. And I did that for a while, and it was very successful. And then recently, I went on a trip, and they had open bar, and there's people around and people I know, and we're having a good time, and I just drank way too much. I mean, I drank way too much, and I was drinking the hard stuff again. I was drinking the liquor and everything else. Anyways, long story short, since then I just completely stopped. I'm like, you know what? No alcohol, zero. I don't even want to. I just don't even want to go there. And what's crazy is I don't even have the desire anymore. The desire has been removed, which is amazing, actually. Like, I thought that was going to be a challenge. Okay, if I was like going camping, I like to go camping, and you know what? You're fishing, you want a beer, right? Things like that. I thought it was going to be a problem, that the desire was still going to be there. Well, this past weekend, went boating, out on the boat all day long. I thought that was going to be challenging to not, when you're on a boat, I don't know, you want to drink, right? Nope, I didn't even want it. My buddy was drinking. It was there. It's not like it wasn't available. So I'm happy to say that, like, I don't know, like, I don't even have the desire. It's just amazing. So I want to thank God for that. Got a victory over drinking. I'm doing all this stuff to get healthy and all this. I can't be messing around with that, So just put it down. So that's one of the things I wrote down. I'm grateful for. I'm so grateful. It's not an issue, right? So grateful for that. I'm grateful for the strength, the wisdom, and the grace in my journey and in my story. Again, I've had a rough upbringing, and I've been through a lot. I've had a lot of ups and downs, a lot of downs in my life, and I put them there, right? It was my decisions to put a lot of the downs in my life. So I'm grateful for the grace that a lot of the stuff that I've had gone wrong in my life, that it hasn't haunted me or carried over. A lot of it was when I was juvenile and made a lot of mistakes. And I'm grateful for the grace that I can still be able to, be a contributing member to society. How about that? So grateful for that. And this morning I was reading Acts 9, and it reminded me, and I'm going to get into that in a second, but I was reading Acts 9, and it reminded me that God can rewrite any story, no matter how broken, how lost, right? He can rewrite it, and he can use it. He can use your story. So you may be thinking, I'm too lost, I'm too gone, I'm too whatever. And God can turn that around so fast. So before we get into that, I wanted to share more about that. But before we get into that, I want to give a couple of community shout outs. A few people that have been commenting in. Just want to give a quick pause and give a few shout outs for a few people who've been sharing their gratitude and goals with me because it means a lot. That's why I'm doing this, right? So I want you guys to be sharing the things you're grateful for, the things that you're proud of, right? Put that stuff in the chat, your goals, all of that stuff. I want you to be sharing it with me, okay? So shout out to Lauren Michelle Polk. She said, I love this. I watched and listened to your video while I put in some strength training work. This was so beneficial. It removed boredom from my workout. This information was inspiring, and I now want to attempt the morning 5. I agree with your priority wheel, but I too have been living misaligned. It's no wonder I've been struggling so much this year. Thank you. I'm grateful for you for taking the time to make these videos. You've encouraged me to get back to the mindset that I had lost. My top goal this year was to lose weight, but after listening to this, I changed my mind. This will come later once I realign my focus and priorities. God first. Have a blessed day. Whew. Man, what a powerful comment. Thank you so much, Lauren, for sharing that. We got Ann Small. She says, my biggest goal right now is setting up a solid referral list so I can only do the work I love. That and my health. I love that, Ann. Thank you for sharing. We got John. He says, I'm an established professional caring person who also respects others. Grateful for you. And he says that one of his goals is completion of Steamtown Marathon on Sunday, October 12th. Love that. Guys, I love how, the gratitude and goals is sparking reflection and action in your lives and keeping them coming. Just keep on coming. Keep putting them in the chat. All right? Keep putting them in the chat. All right? So real quick, if this has encouraged you at all, if you've been watching these, this is number 4. Okay, I'm going to keep doing these every single day. But I want you to do me a favor. Okay, if you are watching these at any point, if they've encouraged you or helped you, lift you up, filled your spirit, filled your cup in any kind of way, or maybe they're just entertaining. You're like Trevor's up there acting like a fool. Whatever. All right, I want you to share it with a friend who you think could use a little gratitude, a little motivation, right? And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the Who You Know Show podcast, because that's where I go deeper. I go deeper into career strategies, financial resilience, and really living in alignment. So you're going to get both the daily motivation, and you're going to get the bigger conversations as we do interviews with authors, coaches, celebrities, business owners, entrepreneurs, people that are what I call world changers. So make sure you subscribe to the Who You Know Show podcast and share this out, right? Hit that share button, share it with a friend who you think could use some motivation today. All right, so let me go back to what I was talking about earlier. This morning I was reading Acts 9, and if you're not familiar, to give you some context, we're talking about Saul. And so Saul was actually someone who was persecuting Christians very fiercely. Like, he was out there trying to get the Christians. He had a lot of passion and a lot of energy and a lot of, love for what he was doing, I guess you could say. Like, he was passionate about it because he thought he was serving God. It was just misdirected. He was out of alignment, I guess, as you could say. We were talking about earlier about being out of alignment. He was misdirected. He thought he was serving God. So he was very passionate about it, right? And he was on the road and had a bright light hit him in the eyes. Boom, stops him. And he hears Jesus. And Jesus says, Saul, Saul, why are you persecuting me? Why are you coming at me, bro? And his whole entire worldview just kind of shattered in one moment, just one encounter, and just boom. And Saul was actually blinded by that. He was blinded for 3 days. He couldn't eat, couldn't drink, and he was forced into being dependent, right? We all often think about being independent. Yeah, I don't need nobody. Independent. Well, that's kind of like, when you think about that, it's almost like trying to be your own God. I'm so strong, I'm so independent, right? No, he was forced into dependence. He was blind, he couldn't eat, he couldn't drink, right? And God sends him, Ananias, to pray for Saul. So Ananias comes over, prays, his sight is restored, okay? He can see again, he's filled with the Holy Spirit, and he was baptized, right? So again, going from being independent to dependence and, relying on God. And so he was filled with the Holy Spirit, he was baptized, and he's transformed in that moment, right? He starts immediately preaching for Jesus, and people are just absolutely amazed by the radical change, the transformation, because remember, this guy was out to kill. He was persecuting Christians. He was out there, capturing them and killing them and all that. So this was a complete transformation. People were shocked. They were like, oh my gosh, what is going on here? And so here's how this really ties into my story as I was thinking about this and reflecting on this. God can flip any story. He can flip it. He can use you. It doesn't matter how broken you think you are, right? He can use your story. Your scars are meant to show people the way. And another thing that I thought about was how blindness, right? He had to be blinded, but his blindness brought clarity. Think about that for a moment. His blindness helped him to see. His blindness brought clarity. Right now we've got so much coming at us at any given time. We've got, distractions, right? Sometimes maybe you need to strip it all away. Close your eyes. Turn off the music. Turn off the podcast. Turn off everything. Turn off all the social media. Turn it all off and just get quiet. Close your eyes, because blindness brings clarity, right? Another thing that I thought about as I was reflecting in this is that surrender brings freedom. Surrendering brings freedom, right? When you are being baptized, you're surrendering your old ways and you're being born new, but you're not, held captive anymore. You're free. Freedom. Surrender brings freedom. It's amazing when you think about this. Blindness brings clarity. Surrender brings freedom. It's powerful. And a couple other things I thought about, I wrote down is, you're not alone. Transformation requires community. That's why I'm doing this with you guys today. And that's why I'm doing the show. So I need community. I need to get closer. I need people to hold me accountable. You need community. You need people to surround you, to support you, to cheer you on. I know I do. And the last thing I wrote down was that your past doesn't disqualify you, right? I've got a jaded past. I got things that happened in my past. It doesn't disqualify me. It equips me. Like I can actually speak on a wide range of things that can help people, right? I'm not the same person that I used to be, and I'm still transforming all the time. I'm growing. So you don't need to be, light years ahead of someone to help them. You just need to be a few steps ahead of them to show them the way. Again, you don't need to be miles ahead of someone. Like everybody thinks that they have to be completely changed before they can actually help someone else. And I would disagree with that. I think you just need to be a few steps ahead. I often get in my own head thinking like, who am I? Like that's the enemy telling me, who are you to be preaching or sharing or whatever, or talk, like, who are you? That's the enemy getting in my head, trying to teach me or trying to say that I'm not good enough, or I'm not, oh, you're a sinner, you've done bad things, don't be sharing that stuff, you hypocrite, right? That's the stuff. I have those thoughts. It comes in my head, but you know what? I have to shut that out. It's like, no. And yes, like, yeah, I have done those things, but I'm working on it. I've done things. I've made mistakes. We all fall short, right? We all fall short. You just have to remind yourself of that and get up and keep walking the journey every single day. So your past does not disqualify you. It equips you. It allows you to have something to talk about. It gives you something to actually have, evidence to support your transformation. Like no one likes to hear about this absolute perfection. We can't relate to perfection because none of us are perfect. What we want to hear is the transformation. We want to see the comeback story, right? That's what motivates people, the comeback story. So anyway, again, your past doesn't disqualify you. It equips you. So I have something that I'm still working on, and I'm actually going to make a public declaration right now in front of everybody. Something that a goal of mine. How about that? Here's a goal of mine. Something I've struggled with for many years since I've been 10 years old is this right here. Okay. And as I'm on this treadmill working out, smoking. I've been smoking since I was 10 years old. I quit drinking, and today I'm done with this. I'm done smoking. I've been smoking since I was 10. And I don't smoke all the time during the day, like all day long and stuff like that. But at nighttime, in the evening, it's been my wind down, my way to relax and take the load off and just kind of chill out. But I'm done. I'm done with it. It kills my energy. It does wind me down. It chills me way out. It dulls me, and it's not good for my health. And it's killing me. I'm slowly killing myself every single day, as I puff on one of these things. So today, Lord, I declare today that this addiction is finished, done. I'm through with it. By your strength, Lord, I'm walking free today. So I got to ask you guys a question. What's something that you need to declare is finished today? I want you to drop that in the chat for me. There's power in speaking it out loud. You know, I had to do this in public today because I've been struggling behind the scenes. You guys don't even know about this. I'm embarrassed by this. You know, it's embarrassing, actually. I'm done. And I need you guys to hold me accountable, right? I got these things right here. It's a chewable breather with this like mint thing because, listen, anybody that smokes knows that there's actually an oral fixation. So these are supposed to help with that. You can chew on them, right? You know, when I was a kid, I used to chew on pins, like writing pin. Like I would chew on them all the time. So I definitely have this oral fixation, and you can also puff on them, which helps with that. And it has like mint and mullein. Mullein is like a lung detox to help you with the cravings and all of that stuff and to detox your lungs. So, guys, I'm on it. I'm on it. And I want to know what you guys are looking to change. What do you need to stop doing? Sometimes we're always trying to add stuff. What do you need to stop doing? I think about how much more time I'm going to get back. Time, money, life. This has got to go. Done. Okay, it's finished. So I want to know from you guys, what is something that you declare is finished today? All right. So a few of my goals, right? This is a big one. Walking out this declaration to quit smoking. It's a big one. Another one of my goals is to stay consistent with this show. To stay consistent with this show. So been looking at different ways to really transform it with turning the daily episodes into a long repurposed long form episode for the actual podcast. So playing with all kinds of different ideas, but the important thing is that I got started, and I just want to stay consistent because I want to keep showing up for you guys. All right. So those are a couple of my goals. So staying consistent with this show, walking out this declaration to quit smoking, and continuing to study for my Series 65 as I'm continuing my education. So those are just a few of my goals. I want to know, what are yours, right? What are a few of your goals? What are you grateful for today? How about that? What's one habit or struggle that you want to declare that you're ready to finish, right? Maybe you don't have the tools yet. Maybe you don't have the resources, but just declare, put it out there. I want to quit. What's something that you want to stop? What's the first step, right? So let's go ahead and do that. And before we close out today, again, remember, if you've enjoyed today's episode of Gratitude and Gains, right, make sure you subscribe to the Who You Know Show podcast. That's where I go deeper into faith, career, financial strategies, and resilience. And I want you to go ahead and share this with one person who you think could use the encouragement today. Just share it with one person. All right, guys, let's keep this momentum going. Let's keep building this community together, right? We're stronger together. Champions, remember, gratitude first, goals next, and gains always, all right? Keep climbing higher. Today, I'm climbing smoke-free. I'm going to see you tomorrow, 6 a.m. Let's rock, let's roll, and let's go. Bye.